Kate Anderson Brower's Elizabeth Taylor, the grit and glamour of an icon, is billed as the first ever authorized biography of the legendary actress, as her family and estate gave her access to Taylor's private letters, photos and diaries. What Brower found was new insight into Taylor's later-in-life emergence as an influential activist, using her star power to help push forward legislation to address HIV and AIDS and, well ahead of much of the industry, her fame to raise money to combat the epidemic and assist patients. The book is a bit of a departure for Brower, the author of The Residents, First Women, Team of Five and First in Line, all focused on the White House and the presidency. The Taylor biography grew out of conversations she had with John Warner, the former senator who was married to Taylor from 1976 to 1982, before he died last year. She originally wanted to write about really just the first influencer of her time, but, after Warner put her in touch with Taylor's children, the book expanded into a full-scale biography. The book also details Taylor's struggles and vulnerabilities, including her battle with addiction, but also shows how a particularly unhappy period of her life, her time as a political wife with Warner in Washington, actually helped her learn about political power for her future activism. Deadline spoke to Brower about what most surprised her about Taylor, more than a decade after her death. Deadline: "You have said that the book started with John Warner, who was one of Elizabeth Taylor's husbands, who put you in touch with her children. Were they looking at the time for someone to do an authorized biography of their mother and grandmother?" Kate Anderson Brower: "They were interested in having her story told to a younger generation. And so it kind of worked out well, because I originally wanted to just focus on our AIDS activism, because I thought, now we look at celebrities as influencers and activists, but it was really Elizabeth who was at the starting point and really changed the kind of incredible power that celebrities now. And then it was her trustees and children who came to me and said, well, what about writing a biography for entire life? And I thought at first that seemed very overwhelming because her life was so huge. But it was hard to pass up that chance." Deadline: "You got access to her archive, letters and diary entries. What surprised you most in reading through them?" Brower: "She was so multifaceted. For me, I always kind of saw this very strong woman. I didn't realize how vulnerable she was, especially in her letters to Richard Burton, where she was pleading with him to get married a second time, and asking him to stop showering her with presents and to just be there for her. And just the kind of ways that she had to deal with Senator Warner too.